Välkommen alla sammen, speaking a little bit about the history of Norse magic today and how to get the gift, as they call it. So when we read in any of the sagas or folk tales about people skilled in magic, they're usually referred to as Trollkunnig, and they were called this all the way starting in the sagas that we can read about Viking times, but also from folk tales and medieval times and later on, and even some folk magic practitioners today in Scandinavia are called this. The word trollkunnig translated just means troll-wise, basically. It's someone who is knowledgeable in communication with the trolls. Trolls are spirits. Exactly what they are, I will go into in another video. It can be quite a lot of different things, but at the end of the day, they're just different types of spirits and energy, and a big part of what they do is help people with various types of magic, or trolldom, as we say in Scandinavia. But in order to practice, we need to be able to contact these spirits somehow, as the tradition says. So it is said that some people are born with this gift, but it also says that there are various methods for people not born with it to receive it, and I'm going to read some of those for you today. These all come from Scandinavian grimoires called svarteböcker, some as old as 500 years and some as recent as 150 years. So this is definitely, these books come from a long time after Scandinavia became Christian, but some of these methods absolutely come from pagan times, and you'll see what I mean in just a minute. So here are a few of the methods to get the gift. First one, you could crawl under a coffin where a dead person was laying. Now this is very similar to the pagan stories we hear about sitting underneath a hanged man. We read about this in sagas, that they would sit under a hanged man and believed to have a communication with the dead or other spirits. So of course, coffins they didn't have in pagan times, but the aspect of sitting underneath a dead person to contact the spirits had not changed once Christianity came in. Another method is to hug a tree where a cuckoo was singing. Another method was you could take a frog out of a snake's mouth, basically saving it from being eaten. Another method is drinking water that a white or albino snake has been boiled in. Please do not harm any animals or do anything with snakes, of course, because that can be dangerous. But yeah, these we can't be 100% sure if they can be traced back to pagan times. But the next one for sure comes from pagan times, and that is Utiseta, the ancient pagan practice of sitting out on a burial mound in order to wake the dead and gain wisdom and knowledge. There are many records of this practice coming from Viking times and before. See my video with all of those sources and the link in the description if you'd like that. But anyway, you sit out at night, and in the folk magic tradition you had to do this 3 Thursdays in a row, and on the 3rd Thursday a dark man would come out and present you with the gift. So that's about it. Please don't try any of these without a guide. We have many stories of people losing their minds doing this, or even disappearing completely and never being found again. So I'm not condoning any of this. This could be dangerous if you believe in all that stuff. Another method that is told to give the gift is simply owning and using one of these legendary black books, svarteböcker, and there are quite a few of those in existence. And a final method of getting the gift is simply learning from a teacher, someone who is already trollkunnig, and learning from them. But the books specifically say that the teacher is not allowed to teach anyone older than them, so the student has to be younger, and they're not allowed to be related by blood. Also, you should only teach someone the opposite gender of yourself, so no guy on guy or girl on girl action, at least when it comes to the teaching of magic. So that's it. This was just an educational video. Please don't go out and try any of these methods without an experienced guide. Like I said, we do have stories of it being harmful. Make no mistake about it. It may have been called the gift a few hundred years ago or a few thousand years ago, but today it's called schizophrenic, and these people, if it happens to them today, they would be given drugs and put in a mental institution for the most part, which is not quite right. Do I believe in it all? I don't really care what I believe in or anyone else believes in. I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to speak about what our ancestors believed in. I will say one thing though, and I think that there should be more studies done on people today with schizophrenia, or on hallucinogenic substances and things like that, and compare it with people who are knowledgeable about the history of magic and religion, or even using actual shamans living in different parts of the world today and comparing their experiences, because I think there could be some amazing discoveries if science actually made the effort to look into these things. Comparatively, I don't think schizophrenic people should be just labeled as crazy and given drugs. I think we should study this a bit more and look into the history of spirits and the science of it. But that's all I'll say for this video. Hope you learned a few things. Vi ses nästa gång.